This is a report by Science Alert, a very well-known journal or newspaper thing for science, right? Okay, and they've been pushing the ideology of climate change and other science stuff for quite a while now. But this report literally came out minutes ago on January 30th. Earth's magnetic poles are set to swap places, and we're totally unprepared. Now, are we talking about a pole shift where north becomes south? Yes, we are. Is that what's going on with all the weather? Earth's magnetic field surrounds our planet like an invisible force field, protecting life from harmful solar radiation by deflecting charged particles away. Far from being constant, this field is continuously changing. Now, granted, of course, these are the end times, and we're seeing the signs of the end times posted everywhere. Not posted, but you get what I'm saying. They're everywhere. And that said, the poles are apparently set to shift, according to mainstream science. Why isn't this being told or pushed by mainstream media? Because, you see, there's a shift going on as well. And this shift happens to be from coal to renewable energy. And with that shift, it's called global warming. It's called mankind is the problem. See what they're doing there? But in reality, the Earth is changing. And it's happened before. Indeed, our planet's history includes at least several hundred global magnetic reversals, where north and south magnetic poles swap places. So when's the next one happening, and how will it affect life on Earth? During a reversal, this is very important, the magnetic field won't be zero, but will assume a weaker and more complex form. It may fall to 10% of the present day strength, and have magnetic poles at the equator, or even the simultaneous existence of multiple north and south magnetic poles. Geomagnetic reversals occur a few times every supposedly million years on average. However, the interval between reversals is very irregular and can range up to tens of millions of years. Of course, this, if we were to take this at face value, we would have to believe in evolution, which of course we don't. We believe in creation. There can also be temporary and incomplete reversals, known as events and excursions, in which the magnetic poles move away from the geographic poles, perhaps even crossing the equator before returning back to their original locations. The last full reversal, the Bruns-Matumia, I believe that's how you say that, occurred around 780,000 years ago. Again, that's on an evolution time period. A temporary reversal, the last Champ event, occurred around 41,000 years ago. It lasted less than 1,000 years, with the actual change of polarity lasting around 250 years. Power cut or mass extinction. The alteration in the magnetic field during a reversal will weaken its shielding effect, allowing heightened levels of radiation on and above Earth's surface. I imagine that would cause some ice to melt. I imagine that would cause some drastic effects on Earth. Were this to happen today, the increase in charged particles reaching Earth would result in increased risks for satellites, aviation, and ground-based electrical infrastructure. Geomagnetic storms, driven by the interaction of anomalously large eruptions of solar energy with our magnetic field, give us a foretaste of what we can expect with a weakened magnetic shield. In 2003, the so-called Halloween storm caused local electricity grid blackouts in Sweden, required the rerouting of flights to avoid communication blackout and radiation risk, and disrupted satellites and communication systems. But this storm was minor in comparison with other storms of the recent past, such as the 1859 Carrington event, which caused an aurora as far south as the Caribbean. The impact of a major storm on today's electronic infrastructure is not fully known. Of course, any time spent without electricity, heating, air conditioning, GPS, or internet would have a major impact. Widespread blackouts could result in economic disruption, measuring in tens of billions of US dollars a day. In terms of life on Earth and the direct impact of a reversal on our species, we cannot definitively predict what will happen, as modern humans did not exist at the time of the last full reversal. Several studies have tried to link past reversals with mass extinctions, suggesting some reversals and episodes of extended volcanism could be driven by a common cause. However, there is no evidence of any impending cataclysmic volcanism, and so we would only like to have to contend with the electromagnetic impact if the field does reverse relatively soon. We do know that many animal species have some form of magnetoreception that enables them to sense Earth's magnetic field. They may use this to assist in long-distance navigation during migration, but it is unclear what impact a reversal might have on such species. What is clear is that early humans did manage to live through the last Champ event, and life itself has survived the hundreds of full reversals evidenced in the geologic record. Can we predict geomagnetic reversals? The simple fact that we are overdue for a full reversal, and the fact that Earth's field is currently decreasing at a rate of 5% per century has led to suggestions that the field may reverse within the next supposed 2,000 years, which we know their timeline is so far off. But pinning down an exact date, at least for now, will be difficult. Earth's magnetic field is generated within the liquid core of our planet by the slow churning of molten iron, because we also supposedly know what's in the center of the Earth. Like the atmosphere and oceans, the way in which it moves is governed by the laws of physics. We should therefore be able to predict the weather of the core. By tracking this movement, just like we can predict real weather by looking at the atmosphere and ocean. Here's the problem though. It's not governed by the law of physics, it's actually governed by the law of God. That's where they're wrong. They keep missing this fact. It's not an accident. I'm pretty positive we didn't evolve from whales and hummingbirds. We were created. That sacredness needs to come back to life. Because then maybe we would take each other more seriously then. Instead of treating each other like animals. We should therefore be able to predict the weather of the core, but they don't even know it's there. A reversal can then be likened to a particular type of storm in the core, where the dynamics and magnetic field go haywire, at least for a short while, before settling down again. The difficulties of predicting the weather beyond a few days are widely known, despite us living within and directly observing the atmosphere. Yet predicting Earth's core is a far more difficult prospect, principally because it is buried beneath 3,000 kilometers of rock, such that our observations are scant and indirect. So they have absolutely no idea, but yet they've made predictions and supposedly it's going to happen within 2,000 years. They have no idea when it's actually going to happen, how long it actually takes to happen, or when the last one was. Let's be real. However, we are not completely blind. We know the major composition of the material inside the core and that it is liquid. A global network of ground-based observatories and orbiting satellites also measure how the magnetic field is changing, which gives us insight into how the liquid core is moving. The recent discovery of a jet stream within the core highlights our evolving ingenuity and increasing ability to measure and infer the dynamics of the core. Coupled with numerical simulations and laboratory experiments to study the fluid dynamics of the planet's interior, our understanding is developing at a rapid rate. This jet stream we reported on recently, and it's very interesting. Let's put it that way. Let's see if they have the article linked. I want to read this one to you too. High latitude jet in Earth's core. Observations of the change in Earth's magnetic field, the secular variation, provide information about the motion of liquid metal within the core that is responsible for the magnetic field's generation. High-resolution observations from the European Space Agency's SWARM satellite mission show intense field change at high latitude, localized in a distinctive circular daisy chain configuration centered on the north geographic pole. Here we show that this feature can be explained by a localized westward jet of 420 kilometers width of the tangent cylinder. The cylinder of fluid within the core that is aligned with the rotation axis and tangent to the solid inner core, we find that the jet has increased in magnitude by a factor of 3 over the period from 2000 to 2016, or to about 40 kilometers a year, and is now much stronger than typical large-scale flows inferred for the core. We suggest that the current accelerating phase may be part of a longer-term fluctuation of the jet, causing both eastward and westward movement of magnetic features over historical periods, and may contribute to recent changes in toroidal wave activity and the rotation direction of the inner core. Literally, folks, they're just figuring this out now, but yet they know the entire history of planet Earth and that we've just gotten here by an accident. Okay. Theories on top of more theories and on top of more theories. But anyways, the point is, there have been so many people stating that the poles are about to flip. The Earth is about to shift. The Bible says something similar will take place in the end times. Now we see it pop up in a mainstream science article. Interesting, isn't it? The real question is this what's going on? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's all I got for you. God bless and carry on.